network. I'm missing my other half. My wife Trista is on her way. We've got the babysitter situation, so we actually get to record here, or I guess go live and record here at the office, which is always fun. You guys get the pretty background. Well, it's semi-pretty. It's a little dirty back there, but y'all can see the real life behind the scenes. So Trista's on her way. I apologize for the people watching live. We are 15 minutes late because we had a Facebook Marketplace pickup person. You guys know how that goes. They're never on time. We were getting rid of a deep freezer. Trista had it up for $50, not one bite. And then she dropped it to free just to get rid of the thing. And she had like 10 people message, person backed out, all kinds of stuff. So we're here. I'm going to kickstart this off by chit-chatting with you guys here in the chat. And from there, once Trista gets here, we'll dive into the topic of the night, which is reviving a dead eBay store, getting your Amazon FBA business back on track, whatever the case may be. Really, it's just going to be reselling in general, because if you guys haven't figured this out by now, if you've done this for more than, let's say, 6 months, this is how your business is gonna act. It's going to be ups and downs. It's rarely ever just month after month going to climb and climb. It's never linear. You guys are going to have stuff happen. Life happens. Let me turn this fridge off. It keeps like bzzz behind me. All right. There we go. So we're going to dive into that whole conversation. Tristan and I are going to be sharing our own personal journeys we've been going through ever since we launched our prep center. The prep center is going phenomenal, but it's taken a lot of my time away from our own eBay store. Trista has been busy with the kids and just living life. We've been taking a lot of time off from really scaling the business over the last several months, really. We'll dive into all the different ins and outs and topics within that. Share our own journey. That screenshot you guys saw in the thumbnail is our actual we have two. It's one of our actual eBay stores right now. It's down 30-something%. We're going to dive into the ins and outs of all that. So I'm going to dive into the chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from, if this is your first time on the show, and how you all are doing. Let me know how your day has been too. I've had a very productive day. I've had productive days for 2 months in a row. I'm riding a high right now. I know that it's ups and downs. Right now is a high, so I'm riding every single day I've got it. All right. And also audio and video. Let me know if we're still loud and clear. What's up, wifey?
Hi.
How'd the wifey's here? How'd the pickup go?
Great. He had a pickup truck with a lift gate on the back of it.
Oh my gosh.
Like a little pickup.
Was it a
tiny Toyota with a
was it white?
Yes, I think I know.
Did it have vending machine logo on the side?
No.
Oh. That'd be funny if it was the same person that picked up the vending machine.
I do actually think you know who this is, but
we'll
talk later.
All right, so wifey's in the room.
Hi,
which
guys.
means I have to make some adjustments because she's a little on the short side. If you guys haven't met us in person yet, what you don't see is I'm not tall by any means. I'm only 6 foot, but I'm taller than you. So our computer chairs at the office have to do this. There we go. I can't do that when we're at the house in our normal dining room chairs.
Yeah.
All right, let's squeeze y'all in here.
Here I am.
All right.
Hi, friends. Hey, Gretchen.
Hey, friends. Hey, we got a Portland person in here. What's up, Anna? Austin, Texas, California. Check. Indiana, tuning in from Cali. I wish we can have a map that just shows where every single person. Technically, I do in YouTube Analytics. We can see where everyone's watching from. I want a physical map where I can see it. All right. I forgot we're also live inside of our FBA Rockstars group too. If you guys don't give permission from Facebook to StreamYard, I can't see who it is. It just says Facebook user. So we'll roll with the punches here.
Wait, go back.
Oh, what'd I miss?
Nice. Somebody picked up 17 toners and sold them for $61 each. Picked them up for $1.
At the bins.
$1 at the bins.
Like, did these make it through a retail Goodwill and then go to the bins?
No, they did not get to retail.
There's no way. That's insane. Nice work.
Maybe they did get to retail, but they probably outpriced anybody.
Way too high.
Yeah. Eugene.
All right. Should we dive into the topic of the night? We haven't even talked today. How are you?
Hi.
I'll show you the thumbnail. I bet Trista has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I just showed up, people. I have no idea.
She's here for the party. Hold on. This is the thumbnail I made.
Wow.
That looks like a depressing topic to bring up.
An ogre.
Oh my gosh. But it's something.
Wait, I didn't actually even read the title because I was too distracted by your face, dude.
I had to throw something in there. It sucks to start over, revive your eBay store.
Oh yeah.
This ties into FBA, Poshmark, like just reselling in general. We haven't. It's weird because ever since we started the Prep Center, we'll kind of give you a little backstory on what we've been going through. And then this is open conversation with you guys in the chat too, because everyone has their own tips and tactics and all that on how to, whether it's reviving an old store or you just went through some shit in life and you haven't been reselling and you want to get back into it. That's what we're here to talk about. So for us, it wasn't a matter of in the past, if like I handle most of our eBay stuff, or I'm sorry, Amazon stuff, and then she handles most of the eBay. The times that the FBA business has completely just bottomed out was because I went into like mild depression, mental burnout, which I talked about last week or the week before that, which I hit during this last Q4. And I'm luckily back on a high now. I feel great. And now, of course, the business is slowly growing again. So typically that's when the numbers have been down. But now the numbers are down because we've been focusing all of our time on the Prep Center, which has been going phenomenal.
Yeah, I would say it's a perfect storm of a couple things and mostly just excuses, but
it's true.
We were on vacation and we should have worked while we were, even just a little bit. We should have worked a little bit while we were on vacation. We did not.
I thoroughly enjoyed the vacation.
I did too. I needed that. So.
Not sponsored, by the way.
But we'd like to be.
Ryan and I discussed a sponsorship by Bubbly and Jimmy John's today.
Perfect.
I'll throw a Jimmy John's sign up in the back if we get some free subs. I'm game. Would you guys hate me if I
Jimmy's, did that? Hook us up. Sal, you are correct. Trista is the coolest.
She is the coolest.
Anyway.
I admitted that years ago.
No, it was just a perfect storm of vacation, starting the Prep Center, which we've been working pretty hard at.
We were down sick for 2 weeks.
We were both not at the same time. Thank goodness, actually.
So really a month.
I don't know who would have kept our kids alive. But
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So I was down for like 10 days. Then you got hit. Titus got hit. Isla scraped by with nothing.
Yeah.
But that's life. Life happens. Sales are going to come down if you don't put in consistent, focused effort every single week. I think the first tip, right, if we go down like the tips and tactics route, first tip is don't beat yourself up about it. So sales are down, you've slacked, you procrastinated, you were lazy, whatever the case may be.
Right.
You've got to get back up and do it again.
Change the channel in your brain that's saying like, oh, you're such a loser. Now you're never going to get that momentum back, and just start working. And little things like do 10 listings and then do 10 more and then do 10 more and just slowly get the momentum back. It doesn't have to be like all or nothing, like you're on fire or your eBay stores in the toilet. Like you can have some consistency and just gain the momentum. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I did the same thing. So Trista's been way more consistent on the eBay side than I have because we have 2 eBay accounts. My main eBay account is mostly for like electronics and stuff like that. And it's the original account we started the 10K challenge on, which we far surpassed by now. I have to do a final results video on that sometime in the next coming weeks. But I didn't list on that account. I don't even know, like 3 months, at least 2 months, if not 3 months.
Yeah, but that was our little account.
That was like the baby account. That thing like tanked. I went down to like 79 listings.
It was really bad.
I got sad when I opened it. But about 4 days ago, I did what Trista just said. I didn't go like crazy. I just listed 5 things that I've just had backlogged on my phone, which most of us have photos just hanging out of our items that we just need to list.
Yeah.
So I did that. I listed 5 things and I sold 3 of them overnight, which you guys, if you follow our Instagram, The Side Hustle Network, quick plug. If you're not, I post a lot of stuff daily over there, and I've been posting some of those eBay sales, and they've been really, really high ticket items, or not high ticket items, but they've been really great margin items for us. Stuff that
high ticket, like $70 to $100.
Yeah, and that's the thing we're trying to do this year is raise our average sell price, our ASP on the eBay side, Amazon as well. But it's been great because I listed 5 things and then I got motivated because I'm like, shit, I just sold 3 things out of 5. I'm going to list 10 things. So I listed 10 things yesterday and we sold 2 more out of those. And then tonight I'm going to go home, list 10 more things.
Yeah.
And they've all been, I don't think I've sold anything for less than, there's one item that sold for 30. The rest have been 50 plus, including a pair of shoes that sold for 100. What'd you sell those for? 115? The blue ones?
Oh,
yeah, you sold them for. Oh no, we had a weird thing.
It was a weird thing with it was international shipping.
Like 85.
They
or
were
something
80.
like that. But still, regardless, that was the first thing. Is just start with something. If we're talking about eBay, get 5 listings up. That's it. Amazon,
you could do 10.
You could do 10.
He's going too easy on you.
That's
do
true.
10.
You could do 10. Because if you fall short and only do 8, you're still doing better than if you would have stuck with the original 5. Second thing with Amazon, there's kind of 2 parts with both Amazon and eBay, just reselling in general. Part 1, you have sourcing. So if you just don't have anything to list, guess what your first step is? You've got to go find stuff.
I don't think that's anyone's problem. Everyone loves shopping.
Most people love the shopping.
Most people love the shopping. It's the actual listing.
So that case, you probably have a death pile sitting around. And that's actually what got my butt to start listing was we have somebody, a part-timer, Jamie, who comes in once a week and does eBay photos, just batch eBay photos. So they're on our phones. And she got through our death pile, and it's been basically my honey hole is my own backstock of stuff. So get through the death pile, get out to a store, and just get 5 or 10 things and just get those listed ASAP. Don't let them sit around for more than 24 hours. And then with Amazon FBA, you've got to get out and find inventory if you're doing retail arbitrage, which most of our audience is either RA or OA, a little bit of wholesale people. OA, start. If you're running tactical arbitrage, run 1 scan tonight and just find 3 to 5 items that you can purchase 3 to 5 quantity on. It's just those tiny little starting points are what's going to build the momentum. That over, we'll talk about some other stuff, but that over everything else has been the sole reason why our sales are slowly creeping back up because of that right there.
We're giving it eBay CPR.
eBay CPR. I feel like that can be a guide.
Mouth to mouth. That's a weird image.
We can do a guide that has like a front cover of like a dummy, like a CPR dummy. Give your eBay store mouth to mouth. How to revive it in 7 days. Watch, somebody's going to steal that idea now.
They should do that at eBay Open, but there is no eBay Open. It's fine. We've never been to eBay Open. We were actually going to go this year.
I'm still salty about it. So.
I'm salty about it too. I need a vacation. And
we'll just make our own.
Yeah.
That's what we decided.
We are going to take a trip in. Actually, I think we're going to do it a month earlier than eBay Open was supposed to be because we want to go back to Texas for a little visit, and July is hot.
Very hot.
So maybe we'll go in June.
This is an awesome question I want to address because this is the second time I've had this question this week. Are we making more with our time with the prep center than with our own business?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
We should have gone 1, 2, 3. What happened?
What's your answer? Let me explain. So a couple different reasons. One, we do 50 units free for anyone that signs up with the prep center. And half of those shipments right now, it's about 50-50, maybe 60-40. But a lot of the shipping is being done by either us or our employee.
Or our 5-year-old.
Or our 5-year-old.
No, not really.
I'm going to get one child labor law person on here. Just watch.
I should probably clarify.
Just watch.
We do not have our kids working in the warehouse at all. And you definitely wouldn't want them handling your boxes.
And we'd give them snack breaks
if
they do. So it's either us or our employee Ryan. We just trained Jamie, so that's been a huge help to have a third pair of hands.
If we need a.
So it's either us trading our time to do those shipments, or it's Ryan. If it's us, we're only losing time. Of course, time's the most valuable asset we have, but we're only losing time. If we want to save our time, we have Ryan do the shipment, but then we're paying him because he gets mad if we don't pay him and he'd stop showing up.
Weird.
So on the units that are 50 units for free, let's just say there's something like Funko Pops that you need to do bubble wrap, and they have their own custom boxes that we put in there. That's a lot of time. So that can take an hour for 50 units potentially. That's going to be 12 or 13 bucks out the door. Plus, we don't get to recoup any of that time that he put into it. So there's a lot of time that is spent doing the free units right now, because obviously we're building up the brand. We're into 4 months now. So there's a lot of time that's being spent on those kind of shipments. It's going to be a few more months until we can start to see that swing where it's really efficient with the time and having the second employee in there helping out. So right now, no, it's definitely not making more per hour if we were to break it down. Then if I were to go out and do retail arbitrage or OA or anything like that, I'd be able to make much more. So that's the end game, is to get the prep center scaled and efficient and ran by the employees, so that I can then take my time, and Trista as well. We can take our time to go do the sourcing and the things that are going to help our own business. That's kind of where we're at. How far down are you?
I can't find where this comment came from.
There
it's
it is.
Right there. Sorry.
It's hiding.
It's just putting in that, like,
it's like any business. It's a lot of time.
Yeah, it's just that time up front that you're investing into.
Oddly, I've been enjoying it. I did a shipment today that took me.
Prep is so easy.
It is. It's just repetitive work.
I always like the contrast between prep for Amazon and then prep work for eBay. Because, like, if you're not buying brand new items for eBay, you're prepping them. You're cleaning, you're testing used electronics, even if you're flipping through a book just to make sure that the pages are in good condition or that they're not highlighted, that's considered prep to me. And I don't know, Amazon is just so easy. It's like
the prep. It's time consuming, but
boring. But
yeah, I don't know. It's odd. Like, I did a 2-hour shipment today, and it was a lot of the same item doing the exact same thing over and over. And it's just blasting music and just kind of tuning out. You get into a groove with it.
Kind of zone out, and that's kind of nice.
Oh, real life FBA's in the house. We can start now.
Oh, thank you for your permission.
Oh, that's so funny. They threw a couple of gummy bears in with my bundle. That's awesome.
We're always over delivering, okay?
Always. So a couple more tips on how you can, and I'm curious too, like, who's in that mental place right now where you just, whether some life stuff happened or you've been flat out lazy, who's in that mental place right now where sales are down, you've not been shipping to FBA, you've not been doing eBay listings, Poshmark shares, all that fun stuff. Because we've been through kind of that up and down that goes with it. So we want to help out with that. I don't know who it is because it just says Facebook user. But prep is not fun at all.
Depends on what kind of prep.
It depends on the day for me. Some days I'm not prepping and I'm like, hey, Ryan, you can prep all day. And then other days like today, I just kind of wanted to zone out to myself, and it was great.
Do you know what he said yesterday?
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
I was here and you were not. I don't think you'd gotten here yet. And he goes, oh, good. Trista, you're here. Like, oh, good. It's not Charles.
Oh, man. I
help him and you're like, bye.
I've got some other shit to take care of. I jump in after if I can, like, our morning routine. Ryan gets in at 11. I'm usually here by 8:30 now. I've been on an early morning kick, which
you had gone sourcing that morning, and I was here with Isla.
Yeah. So traditionally, I'm here at 8:30 now. So because I drop our boy off at school at 8, so I'm here by 8:30. And if I can get all my own stuff done. I've got my own checklist of all the side hustle network stuff I need to get done. Our own eBay stuff. I check both of our accounts, do listings, all that stuff. So if I can get all my stuff done by 11 when he gets here, then I'll jump in and help. But I've been kind of swamped with our own stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a juggle. There's a lot of moving pieces that, it's hard to keep it all going.
I've had this idea.
That's why he's here.
I've had this idea in my head, and I don't know if he'll do it, but I want to get him on camera. Just literally just call him over here, turn a camera on, just like, let's talk about what it's like to work here. From somebody who's not a reseller, that's one of our employees. I would just love to pick his brain and see what kind of stuff he would say. He keeps showing back up. Well, we pay him, so that could be. What if he doesn't like us and he just wants a paycheck?
He does a good job.
I know he watches these too, so it's going to be so fun to. He's going to come in and be like, "Yeah, it's for the snacks. We give him snacks." He's flat out told me because he did have a seasonal job at UPS where they paid him $20 an hour. We're not paying $20 an hour. That's for sure.
Yeah,
not quite yet. But he had brought up, he's like, it's almost better to work for you guys. Even though I get paid more money there, you guys provide snacks. With how much this kid eats.
He's a 17-year-old boy. Come on.
It's about $20 an hour.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on.
All right, back on track.
Yeah. Martin said, when I'm not even going to try and paraphrase. Just going to show it.
Just show it.
Martin is also a real life FBA. You should follow him. And he talks mostly RA, OA. No, you don't do a whole lot of OA, but wholesale, just day in the life
back into wholesale.
Yeah. Day in the life of doing what we do. But I focus more on business because I can book a win. Yep. I struggle with that because honestly, I feel like, and I think that this is a woman thing. I'm totally going to be sexist for a second, but I feel like, no, stop.
Bye guys.
No, but I feel like if one area of my life is out of balance or crazy or, so if like stuff at home isn't organized or like we're having a hard week with Titus, he's 5. There's a lot of ups and downs. Like, I feel like that stuff bleeds into the rest of my day, the rest of my work life. Like, if I'm having a hard time with the kids, it's really hard for me to self-motivate and go out in the garage and work or self-motivate to come to the office. And that's something, I mean, we could talk for years about this, but no one is making me come to the office. I mean, I need to pay bills. We both need to pay our bills and make a living, but no one is going to call me at 8:00 and be like, why aren't you here? You're going to get fired.
And she'd get mad if I did.
Yeah, that wouldn't go well. That would not go well for you.
Was anyone on last week's show? Because I literally just talked about the exact thing that.
Really? I'm sorry. I don't watch the show.
No. I think that's great because it proves the point I was trying to make last week. Because I said the same thing where if my home life is out of balance, I can't focus when I come here to the office.
It's not a woman thing, or you are a woman.
I may have qualities and characters.
I feel like men are can more easily compartmentalize their
that's 1,000% true.
Parts of their life, whereas I feel like that's a big thing for me, Martin. That's why it's like if one thing in my life isn't going super well or I'm struggling in, I feel like everything else is hard. But I'm working on it. This got deep real fast. I'm so sorry.
It did get deep.
Sheesh. Let's move it along.
You guys okay with deep? Conversations. We're not here for the entertainment value. I hope that's not what you came for.
Yeah.
I wrote down some little bullet points just so I didn't forget. I always do live shows I never follow scripts or bullet points or anything. And then after the show, I'm like, crap, I didn't even bring up X, Y, and Z. So I did write a few things down just if you guys are looking for straight tips and tactics on the actual getting back into it, getting momentum back in your business.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, and I'm trying to do like non-conventional ones because I did write some down, which are the typical run a flash sale. I did this on one of our eBay accounts.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well. This was in the middle of when we both were not listing.
I think we were sick.
Like we didn't have any sales coming in on a daily basis, which is rare. And I finally I confirmed with you first, like, hey, as long as you don't have anything in this store that you don't absolutely need to sell for X amount of dollars, I ran a 30% off sale.
We check with each other because he does his buying and I do my buying.
Mm-hmm.
And
certain items, you know exactly what you want to get for it.
Well, I know what they're worth.
Mm-hmm.
But the nice thing about thrifting for eBay and, you know, like shopping secondhand is that there's usually tons of margin.
Yeah.
There's lots of wiggle room. So if he priced something for $90 instead of $100, I probably paid between $1 and $10 for that item, to be honest. So there's lots of wiggle room. I'm fine with it, but we do check with each other.
Yeah. So I ran 30% off the entire store, both of them. Yeah. And we had a flood of sales come in, and then sales still came in at full price after the sale was done because it refreshed the store, got back into the algorithm, whatever the case may be. So that's number one. Of course, you can run some type of sale. Yep. If you have not messed with promoted listings,
do it.
I'm still like, we toggle them on and off about once a month. I'll mess with them.
I think just the messing with them is what
and that's
is
the algorithm.
Helpful.
Mess with anything, title, price, mess with anything on old listings. That's actually on here is relist old listings. So if you have stuff that has 100 views, I've had items that have like 400 views and no sales. They may even have watchers, and I'll literally just unlist it, relist it for maybe a different price, tweak the title, maybe a different main photo, and it will sell. So relist some of those older items that maybe you have on there. And somebody mentioned earlier in the chat too, before we even started, about they just want to literally start with a fresh store. So I'm not promoting it or recommending it, but if just running some huge 50% off sale your entire store is something you want to do just to clear out and just start clean, there's something that really does help you out mentally with starting fresh.
I really like to, if I need to just clear stuff out, I don't care if I make any money. I will put stuff on 99-cent auction. Just make sure if your listing is providing free shipping, and then you switch it to 99-cent auction, that you charge the buyer shipping, because then you will lose a lot of money.
Yeah, don't lose that much. If you break even on crappy items, you're good.
But a lot of the stuff that I sell on eBay are things that I find at the bins. So I'm paying $1.29 per pound. So around $1 per item.
Or less for the clothing.
Or less sometimes. So, you know, it sucks to lose out on the time and the effort that it took to photo the item, list the item, put the item away. Like all that takes time, and it's frustrating to lose out on that. But it's also really nice to, like Charles said, like start with a clean slate and have, and I think that eBay's algorithm just eventually sees that as junk, and I'm not sure, but I would assume that it detours people from the rest of your listings. So.
Yep. So those are like the typical standard answers you'll get a lot of times. The other random ones, and you probably can come up with some too. Number one is look at where you are doing your work.
Yeah.
There's something about just having a dedicated workspace that is clean each day that keeps you motivated. Trista's a prime example of this, not because of her mess. There was a time, and you have to admit it's gotten better. It's gotten better.
I'm waiting to hear what
there was a time when she would not come into the office for literally weeks at a time. And
I would come here to drop stuff off. I won't even say the word. We're family friendly here, but
I've already dropped it like 5 or 6 times.
I would literally come drop stuff off through the front door, and be like, bye, I'm not coming in.
And this was just a communication thing. Of course, you know, this gets into like the husband-wife communication side, but we eventually got into it a little bit because I finally was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like we were both kind of at each other's throats for a little bit. Not bad, but we were bickering and arguing a lot more.
You mean married people fight?
That's so odd. So
oh my
weird.
gosh. I hope we don't break up.
You got a backup already? So we had gotten to that point where it's like, okay, what's going on? And the communication was finally back on the same page. And it was simply my destruction of this entire office.
Destruction's a good word.
It was beyond, this wasn't messy. This wasn't just dirty. This wasn't stuff laying around. Between Ryan and I, being two dudes who were just like prepping and shipping and working in here.
Looked like a frat house in here, people.
It was the equivalent of a FBA and eBay frat house. And it got to the point where Trista was so overwhelmed that she physically and mentally just couldn't be in this environment because it was just more stress to be here than it would. I'm trying to think of the right wording. It was so much stress on you, like you couldn't focus to actually get any work done.
Oh my gosh, it was sensory overload. I would shut down.
Yeah, so I bring that up because having a dedicated workspace is tip number one. If you don't have a dedicated workspace, make one. Just a tiny little table with your computer, your little printer. A dedicated workspace really does help out. Paired with clean that thing. We've got a clean that thing. That should be a t-shirt. Do we have graphic artist people on here? I need a t-shirt mock-up.
It depends on what thing you're talking about.
That's why it would be funny on a shirt. So the prep center is another great example. When we first started the prep center, we had to come out with the right layout, right? So we finally came up with a layout with dedicated half of our warehouse is all prep center now. So we came up with a dedicated space, a dedicated layout. We put up pegboard, all this stuff. But in the beginning, we didn't have a system. We didn't have like dedicated stations for things. We didn't have a dedicated place for supplies. So supplies were all over the place. Me and Ryan were constantly like, hey, where's the tape? Where's the glue gun? Hey, I need the heat gun. Like it was just chaos at all times. And the destruction happened again. And so as we're prepping and shipping, and we do primarily OA items, by the way. So a lot of our clients are online arbitrage sellers, which means it's not a nice case pack wholesale box that's coming in with 12 units in it. It's one box with like 3 or 4 items, lots of bubbles and craft paper. So we are tearing and breaking down boxes and we're getting air bubbles all day, every day. So we have a huge box pile at all times and boxes were everywhere. Air bubbles were everywhere. And finally I came in one day. I'm like, this is not efficient. It's not scalable. And it started to just mess with my head to that point, like what you were going through, where I couldn't focus on the client shipment. So we finally came up with a new system for everything. We put up the pegboard. We have dedicated our fancy holders, which you guys all loved on Instagram, is bungee cords on a pegboard that holds the bubble wrap. I'm even going to do a video. We'll do a video that shows you guys how to make one. It's super easy. People
can't see where I'm pointing.
People have been loving that. So we're going to show you guys on video how to set up your own little space. Even if it's in, the corner spot in your house, you could do this.
Yeah.
So we came up with all these things and we have a new rule that's been working out great, new policy in place, which is, and we'll do 3, 4, 5 client shipments per day on busy days. So we came up with a new layout for this and a policy that says we have to start fresh for each client. So we're no longer just throwing boxes, making a mess, and then doing the next client in the mess. We are resetting the entire place.
Yeah.
And that's helped us out a ton. So if you guys are in that type of environment in your own little personal workspace, just set a new policy for yourself. Treat this thing like a business. Start with a clean slate every single morning. It's been great. Even Trista, she's built out this home setup in the garage.
Yep. And
you do the same thing where you're starting with a clean slate each time.
West First Books is having a hard time. That sucks. There's a lot going on in his life. But he's got a wife that's going to have a baby soon. There's some people in his family that are sick. He's also remodeling a house, running eBay and Amazon. That's a lot. So, don't kill yourself. Take some time and make sure that you're taking care of yourself too.
Yeah. And get it down to the absolute priorities that need to be done in your business to keep it, you know, and sometimes it's okay to just maintain especially when you're going through that much. There's times where as long as we can maintain and deal with life, we're good. Ultimately, you want to try to get processes and systems in place that will keep things going without you. Yeah. That's the ultimate goal for any business. But especially if you're in the beginning stage or you're still kind of new to all this, you haven't put those systems in place. Try to do things in batches. So if you have a day where you have a little bit more time, you can take a whole bunch of photos. So you have them on your phone. It's all batched so that you can then have access to those to do listings. Maybe send in some extra FBA shipments on a week where you don't have much going on. Trying to plan ahead as much as you can for those times. But ultimately, try to get systems in place, whether that's virtual assistant. Obviously, getting into the road of like, you know, a person, your own employee, like a physical employee that comes in and does prepping and shipping, use a prep center. There's different avenues you can look into for that.
Yeah. But you're in our thoughts. That's
a good question. Scroll up. We've always had a store, so I don't know the answer to this. Do you have to have a store to run a sale?
Yes.
Yes.
Pretty.
Charles Taylor said, great name, by the way.
Oh my.
That wife look. I have 800 listings and will only let me promote 150, so I need to call eBay and see what's up. I would definitely call eBay.
Yeah. Because
we don't have a lot. We have, how many do we have up? 700?
9. We're almost at 1,000.
And then with the other store, I only have 100 up on the other store, but yeah, we have all of them. Actually, just today I went through and edited all of them for promoted.
Okay. I'm going to work on these questions.
All right. And I'm curious too. This is just our own conversation going on and our own tips and tricks for you guys on the whole reviving thing. If you guys have your own advice you'd like to give out to any other people as well, feel free to comment below. That's the cool part about this whole reselling gig is you can watch 5 different YouTubers who are all pretty darn good at what they do. And we're all going to give you different sets of answers because we all have different experiences. We're all in different places. Highlight that one.
There you go.
Just signed up to sell on Amazon. So excited, but then I'm restricted on a lot of stuff. Any advice for a newbie here? 1, focus on things you are not restricted in. Books, great category to start with. As much as I despise the grind of books, they work.
Some people love it.
Some people love it. People like Reezy build an entire business model out of it and they crush it because they got the right system in place.
I think that we have PTSD from books.
We do have PTSD. Different story.
Real. It's real.
So focus on brands and categories you are not restricted in because it's going to give you momentum. It's discouraging if you're running up and down Walmart clearance aisle and you just see restricted. You're going to get very discouraged and you're probably going to quit. That's the honest truth because we've seen it time and time again, especially over the last few years that restrictions got a little bit more heavy. So focus on categories that you can sell in and brands you can sell. That way it can, 1, keep you going, build up momentum, get some sales and profits under your belt. 2, you're building up metrics on your account so that down the road, I've heard 6 months, 8 months. I don't know if there's a sweet spot, but let's just say 6 months in, you've made a bunch of sales, your metrics are solid. You can then start to apply and get auto approved for some of these categories. And then that opens up more doors for you. If you don't want to wait that long and you want to do it the right way, give Amazon what they want, which is going to be an invoice from a distributor for the brand you want to sell. And order 10, we just tell people 12, but between 10 and 15 items is basically what they're telling you. Minimum of 10 items on an invoice from a distributor. That's how you get approved. A lot of people just don't want to put in the extra work and steps. With the whole approval thing real quick, if you're ordering from a distributor for the sole purpose of getting if you're ordering from a distributor for the sole purpose to use that invoice to get approved for a brand, you are not sourcing products for a profit from that distributor. I've seen too many people that are like, hey, I found a distributor so I can get approved in XYZ, but they don't have any profitable products. And I tell them, you're not looking to make a profit. You need to pay to play in that category. So at best, try to break even on that. And I've told people too, like I'd be willing to lose a few $100s on ordering the 10 to 15 quantity I need for different products and brands that I want to carry and be able to sell. I would be willing to lose a couple $100 on that. And this is just my advice. It may not be the advice you'll hear from another YouTuber or another Instagram person. It's my advice. Take it with a grain of salt. But I would be willing to lose a couple $100 if that got me the unlock to then make thousands of dollars throughout the next year in that specific brand. That's just a little side tip I like to throw out because I talk to too many people that are like, I found a distributor. Great. Why haven't you ordered and gotten approved yet? Because there's nothing profitable. You're not going for profit with that, just for the sole purpose of getting approved for the brand. Once you get approved, don't be breaking even, right? I don't care if you're making 10% fast flipping or doubling your money over the course of a few months, but approval equals break even at best. Once you're approved, then you can go in and make your money with it.
Man,
that was a mouthful.
Whew.
I feel bad because I get these messages all the time and I talk to people.
Oh my gosh. Where
it wouldn't bug me at all if it was like 1, 2, 3 people and I can give them the advice, but I've been hit up like 30, 40, 50 times with that same story.
Yeah.
So start with what you can sell and get your momentum built up from there. And then as you work your way up the ranks of Amazon and get some metrics under your belt, then you can start getting approved.
How many items do you list per day?
10. I'm only on day 4.
Like so good at that right now.
I'm on day 4. That's like saying I went to the
40
gym.
items.
I went to the gym every day this week. It's like, well, you haven't gone over the last 6 months. So good for you. That's how it feels for my.
Jeez, you're rough tonight, man. It's okay. It's 40 items. That's good.
40 items.
Take it with some pride, man.
Take it with some pride.
Yeah, I'm kind of alongside Charles, 10 to 15. And
is that just eBay or is that Poshmark too? Do you have like,
so I cross
I'm just going to question you. Do you cross list? Do you have 5 for eBay, 5 for Posh? What's your strategy?
So I don't cross post everything that I put on Poshmark might not necessarily go on eBay and the other way around. Does that make sense? So like some items are I just know are going to sell for a higher price point on eBay. So I'm just going to put them on eBay. I'm not going to spend the time listing them on two platforms when I know I will get a better price point. They will sell quicker. Mostly, I do like men's shoes and clothing on eBay, and I know that people do well on Poshmark, but that has not been my experience so far. I have tried. And it just, for me, it works better for eBay, so that's what I'm sticking with for now. Clothing the same, kids clothing the same thing. And then depending on the brand, I like to put certain brands on eBay over Poshmark. And same with Poshmark. So there are certain brands that I would prefer to put on Poshmark because I know I'll get a higher dollar amount. So yeah, I do cross post, but I don't cross post everything. When everything is said and done, at the end of the day, I have done between 10 and 15 listings, and some of them are cross posted, some of them are not. I don't know how to explain that better, but there was another one.
Oh, did I?
No,
should I put that one up? Okay. Next up is, hello guys. Question: when reselling, how do you price products? I'm learning how to sell on eBay, Amazon, and through Shopify. I get a ton of views, but few purchases. We have 2 different kind of businesses that we're doing.
Yeah.
So I'll speak on like the Amazon FBA. I'm pricing it buy box and I'm looking to quick flip. I spent years trying to hold on to product to make like 70 to 80%. And I would eventually just end up spending all of our spare capital and realizing like, oh, it's not coming back as quickly as I'm spending it. That's a problem. And when I figured out that was a problem, I then was like, okay, I'm good with 30, 40% ROI. Stuff started moving. I can go spend that money again and move it again over the next 30 days, 60 days max. And then I was like, well, if I'm doing that with 30, 40%, what if I drop to 20% on some stuff? And next thing I know, I'm like flying. So I'm good to quick flip. I'll price as competitively as I can to fit within those ROIs, those margins. It also depends because again, you can talk to 5 different YouTubers, 5 different Instagram people, the experts in the field, whatever you want to call YouTubers. Not even YouTubers, just they're the smartest people I know don't even do social media, right? You'll learn that in the game too. So you can talk to any 5 experts in the field and you might get 5 completely different answers because they all have different business models. I know people that do 7 figures that only double their money. They're not looking to do these 30, 40, 50% flips. They're looking to double their money minimum, and they do very well, but they've got access to a lot more capital than most people, and they're willing to hold on to inventory for much longer. Personally, I want cash flow. I'm quick flipping is what I'm going for. Unless it's now if we go to like my side of eBay is a lot more of the electronics collectors items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with not quick flipping that stuff. Like we just made a purchase. We partnered up with Portland Pickers. I don't care about sharing the numbers, and we're doing a whole video on it anyway. So you guys will see the actual product and all the details. But we bought into a product. We bought 2,000 units and we spent 10 grand.
So
like holy crap. So we went deep on this product, but we got it so cheap. It's not going to be a quick seller. It's going to take many months. We're estimating about a year to sell through, depending how things go. And we've sold 4 in the last 38 hours or 36 hours, day and a half. We've sold
so specific 36 and a half hours.
I'm it's intermittent fasting brain because I'm always by like 12 hours. I go by 12-hour increments because of intermittent fasting.
You're funny.
It's funny how that correlates. But that's an example of we're not looking to quick flip. We're not doing 30% ROI. We're potentially, if things work out the way we want it, we're potentially going to be profiting like 60, 70K. So that was a huge deal for us. But we're willing to sit on that type of inventory. Meanwhile,
for a higher return.
A higher return. Meanwhile, our bread and butter is just going to be turning and burning. I'm good with that 30% ROI. Same thing with the toys that I've flipped. I've held on to collector's items for 6 months, but I made 500 net profit on. I'm good with those types of flips.
Yeah.
Here and there, not all of them.
My items are a little more turn and burn. Like I'm not going to.
Your margins kick the crap out of mine.
Yeah, they do.
Like you buy stuff for $1 that you sell for 40, 50, 60.
Yeah. But I don't like my stuff to hang out for too long. So what was the question again? I'm so sorry.
How do you price your products?
Oh, okay.
The most simple.
I thought it was going in a totally different direction. That's funny.
Those are some of the best conversations though, is when I'm getting a little hungry and I'm having a hard time focusing. We're on keto and I'm having a hard time with it this time. I didn't keto today. I had a sandwich.
I can't talk to you.
I ran 3 miles this morning.
So on eBay, I do a lot of comp checking. Even now, like I got into this phase of being too comfortable and I was like, oh, I know what this sells for. Oh, I know what this sells for. I know this brand. I know that this will sell for $20, $30, $40. Or I know this brand and I'm not going to pick it up. And I've started realizing that I'm getting a little too comfortable. So I'm trying not to rely on past experiences and just always be learning, people. So I have been looking up comps more often, but you do kind of get a sense of what things sell for and what you're looking for after you do this for a while. But searching for comps, you're just going into whatever platform that you're selling that item on, filtering out the solds, and then looking for what people have sold comparable items for. So if I have a Levi's jean jacket, I'm going to put in Levi's jean jacket into eBay's search and then filter out the solds. And then I'm looking for styles, for sizes, condition, and then I'm looking at what those people have, what the sales history has been. Because with Amazon, you get to look at all this great data And that's super fun. I actually really do like that.
eBay is
But-
like, here's a few sold comps. Oops.
Shh, what are you doing?
I was trying to pull up. I can't see Facebook names, so I'm trying to pull up on the Facebook. I'm sorry.
So there's no data on eBay unless you're going to use Terapeak. And I don't feel like Terapeak is, it is helpful for some things, but it's not going to tell you like really detailed graph information that you get from looking at a Keepa chart. So
For sure.
wish that eBay had a Keepa.
It
would be
EPA.
I was waiting for that.
Graphics person, t-shirt. I need a mock-up tomorrow. EPA.
You have a lot of t-shirt
Oh
ideas.
man, you have no idea. I have a list.
Mhm.
I don't show the list to anyone, but I have a list. Michael said, I looked up an item, was not restricted. I bought quite a bit because they were on sale, got home to ship them in, and I was restricted. Unfortunately, I've actually been seeing that a lot, even with prep clients.
Yeah.
We'll go to do a shipment and it pops up restriction.
Right.
And they were like, I wasn't restricted when I bought it.
So my question though is, are you using a like, I don't know, do you call them third-party apps? Like, are you using Scoutify or are you using the seller's app?
Well, he's saying when he bought it, he wasn't restricted.
Mm.
And then by the time he shipped it in, it went restricted.
But I'm saying, like, are you checking the right platform to make sure, or not the platform, but like the right software to make sure that you're not restricted?
Yeah, they'll pop up and show that. I mean, from there, if it's a brand you want to keep selling and you're not too deep into it as far as cash, try to find a distributor that carries that brand and try to get it approved that way. But I don't know why I've been seeing that myself lately.
What software apps do you recommend for a newbie? It went over there.
Boom.
Want to cross post on eBay, but man, eBay is another platform to learn. And I'm feeling like I'm cramming all into info like a college student about to take his finals.
Welcome to being a seller.
So what if you want to get onto eBay, BAM, which is a great name, like your name.
Bam.
Bam. Wasn't there a guy on Jackass his name was Bam?
Yeah, Margera.
I don't know why I know that.
You were homeschooled and you weren't allowed to
know.
watch Harry Potter. How do you know that?
No, the town we live in used to.
That's right.
Who owned the skate shop?
Aaron. I forgot what his last name is.
Aaron from Jackass.
He owned
the skate shop.
He owned
here
the
in
skate
town.
shop that's literally like 2 blocks away from us.
And we're in Portland, Oregon. So, who's the lead guy? I don't know why I knew about BAM and I don't know about
What about Knoxville?
Knoxville. I think he's from Portland. Or
Is
Seattle,
Johnny
maybe.
Knoxville from Portland? I've never looked that up.
Somebody tell me.
Talk about sidetrack.
I don't know why I'm talking about this. Anyway,
Has nothing to do with softwares and.
because BAM is his name, and it's
Oh, okay.
name.
That's how we rabbit trail.
Okay. Sorry,
We're both hungry. I'm
I'm
sorry.
really hungry. I'm gonna die.
Do you need a protein bar? I got snacks over there.
No. So, if you want to get onto eBay, what are you on right now that you would want to cross from to eBay? Does that make sense? I'm confused. I use the cross posting software to go from Poshmark to eBay, and it's called List Perfectly.
If you want to go from Amazon to eBay, there is Joe Lister.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
I haven't used it in a long time, a couple of years, but I
Yeah.
was using it for a little bit. I did fulfill some orders that way, but that will cross post your stuff from Amazon to eBay, and it autofills the customer info when the orders come in. It's pretty nice. I just haven't used it in a few years, so I cannot like back it and say it's phenomenal. But I'm curious if anyone else uses cross posting stuff like that. Software. All right.
No, don't scroll. Oh,
We have to take the old one down.
got it. Sorry.
All right, let's wrap up with a couple
Yeah.
more tips for you guys, and then we'll do rapid fire Q&A since we only got a few minutes left.
And I'm so hungry.
And this one is going to starve. I'm good to chill here for another hour if you guys want, but this one's going to.
Well, you can.
I have to finish a shipment actually, so I can't. So my last two things I had written down. I don't know if there's any other little side bonus. Trista.
How to CPR your eBay store.
Trista CPR techniques.
Hmm.
Next tip, because I've been doing this and it works.
Mm-hmm.
Source better items.
Oh, like things people want to buy?
And what that means is buy products that people want to
Weird.
buy. I'm guilty of this, and she calls me out every time when we're in stores. I can't tell you how many times I hear, put it back.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Don't buy things just because they're cheap
Don't buy things because you like them.
and you think they'll sell.
You're
They'll
like,
sell.
Oh, I like this color. Oh, I like this style. Oh, I like this price.
It's only $5.
Don't buy things because you like them. I know that eBay doesn't have the best data, but there is some data. So you better have a little bit to go on. You shouldn't be just buying garbage because you think it will sell.
Unless
you have insane intuition.
Unless there's one caveat to that. Unless you are in the like antique, like Jake Portland Pickers.
Yes.
He never uses his phone because the stuff he buys and sells for hundreds of dollars per item.
Jacob is a freak of nature.
He's got this intuition that's like, he'll look at what I would say, that's a dirty metal cup. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to buy it for $1. And then he sells it for 500. I've seen it firsthand.
Yes. But that's a very niche situation.
But for most sellers that are hustling into Goodwill and garage
new
sales,
sellers, like if you're new, and I feel like we're still new.
We
haven't even been doing this for 1 decade yet. Like we have done a lot, and still I feel like we have so much to learn.
We say this every time we go out garage selling because we're in Portland, Oregon. So we have literally 6, 7, 8 months of straight rain. We don't have garage sales most of the year. We get them between like mid-May up throughout September. So for those few months, and we've done 4 years now, every single time on day one, we're always like, wow, we're so much smarter going into it this time than we were last time. And it's the same way. And I don't think anyone truly ever becomes like the expert in any one category because there's always so much more that you can learn.
Yeah. If you really know antiques, yes, that is probably one of the only exceptions. But I would say generally, and especially if you're brand new and getting into this and just getting your feet wet, like you need to learn like what's selling, what's not selling. There should be some data that you're going off of beyond it's a good price to buy and it's pretty. And
I think I can sell it for X amount because I've done that.
Yeah.
Even just a few months ago, I forgot where we were, but I vividly remember you telling me like, go put all that back. Because in my head, I'm like, it's so cheap and I know I can sell it for 20. Like, no, you don't know unless there's actual data to go by. So that is why I wanted to bring that tip up is source better items, source item. People are always like, how do you know what to sell? I sold the calculator. I sold a TI-84 CE edition pink calculator for $99.95 this morning. And I posted on Instagram and sure enough, how did you know it would sell? Because I went to sold history under that calculator model in color and I saw that they were selling between 85 and 100. I went on the high end because mine was pretty and clean. But I had data to go by. So source products that are in demand. If you look up a model number or a style code or anything on eBay and you see that there was one random sold 2 months ago and there's like 20 active listings, unless it's some crazy margin item, I'm now passing. I don't care if I can buy it for $5 and there's a $50 sold comp from 2 months ago and there's 20 other active listings. I'm not playing that game anymore. And I know that I leave a lot of money on the table now, but I'm also spending less overall time doing eBay work because you have to look at how much time do I need to take photoing, creating the listing. Some items like electronics, you have to bubble wrap and special custom box for shipping. You have to look at your time involved with that. So I'm not even okay making $10 an item anymore unless I'm buying it for like 25 cents. I'm learning to cherry pick my stuff a lot more. And because I've seen, I don't even know how to have to calculate it out. We've probably sold not any huge, marvelous number, but we've probably sold like $500 worth of eBay items over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that many items. I only shipped out 4 things on my account this morning. You only had like 2 things going out,
Yeah.
but we made several $100s profit on very little actual time that went into sourcing it, photoing it, shipping it, versus my bad habits in the past. I would have had to source and spend extra hours and prep and ship 20, 30 items to make that same couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean by source better items. And sometimes we did this several times. That's why we host our local warehouse sale. Half the reason is just to get rid of old stock stuff and bring some cash in without paying fees and shipping. But some of that means that you have to liquidate. So if you've got tons of stuff that's just consuming your mind in your physical house or wherever you store your inventory,
Yeah.
At least on the eBay side, sometimes on the Amazon side, Amazon's a lot easier to mentally handle because it's not stored at your house, right? Amazon's housing all that stuff. That's why you pay extra fees. But if you're storing all of your product on the eBay side or even Amazon Merchant Filled, you've got to liquidate sometimes. Get your cash back, get what you can, and reinvest it back into better inventory. If you're holding on to shit that you had last year, let it go.
Let it go.
I knew that was coming the second. It was like, you got to let that stuff go.
When liquidating products, do you try to just break even? What if it still doesn't move?
Break even is always step one.
Hard. This is always such a, like, people get really hung up on this. It's rough.
Because they'll take it out of context and they'll go float around Instagram and be like, Chaz said you just need to sell all your stuff at break even.
Yeah.
That's no way to run a business. If I'm liquidating,
yes.
and you may have a different answer.
We do
all the time. Every month we're liquidating something.
Often, yeah.
Whether it's Facebook Marketplace, we'll sell shit for break even. We'll do our local warehouse sale. We'll throw it in the brick and mortar shop. We'll list old Amazon stuff on eBay if we can break even that way.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever we can to break even. That's goal one.
There's so many places to make money. It's crazy.
There is. Yeah. If you can't break even, like if the market's just saturated, one, you can hold out.
Right.
Even though that just goes against what I just said of get rid of stuff. If you need to hold on to something for a while until everyone else sells out and you can then break even and you want to, go for it. But I'm also good with getting, 80% of my original investment back if that's going to give me some capital to move on and invest right away rather than holding out.
Yeah.
So that's just our advice.
So case by case. It depends on your cash flow,
how deep we're talking.
Right. How many items you got. Are you willing to hang on to it? Do you have the space to hang on to it? Like,
real quick, if you guys are stressing over like 10 or 20 items, sell the shit for what you can and move on.
Yeah.
We're talking like if you've got a store with 50 things hanging around, you got to be a little more strategic with it. But if you're stressing over 10, 20, 30 items, just sell it and move on. I'm telling you, it's going to free up your mind more than anything. Even if you lose a few bucks an item, like get some cash back, reinvest it because you are smarter now than you were probably when you bought it.
Yep. And just chalk that up, that loss, as you just paid for some information. You learned the lesson and now you're going to move on and make better choices.
That was deep. You
I
paid
am full of knowledge tonight.
You should write a book. Legit.
Hangry Trista knows things.
No, that's a really good point though. Yeah. You're paying for the experience now. And hopefully that was a lesson learned. Like someone needs where's my graphic person? Do I have a graphic person yet? Not t-shirt idea this time. You ready? We need a graphic with Trista's quote.
Stop.
No.
Just stop. All right, you guys. It is time-ish.
Oh, we were just getting started.
I know.
Sad.
Just gonna look through here. Dun, 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 dun.
Ooh, go back to BAM.
It's my this one?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Do you sell only new items? Because it's easier to research comps if they have the UPC code, right? I'm going to say a sarcastic yes in hopes that everyone else does that so that we can buy all the products. Here's what I mean. Most people, we're talking about Amazon specifically, I'll talk about eBay in a second. Amazon specifically, when they're running up and down just Walmart aisles, because that's usually stop number one for anyone that's new. I still shop Walmart. There's nothing wrong with that. You get a little bit smarter over time with it. But here's what happens when people are new. They scan, and then they'll scan an item and it says product not found. What do? They go to the next item, scan, product not found. They scan. Now, we're all about scan everything, right? That's rule number one in retail arbitrage. Scan it all. The problem, did any of you see the problem with that? There's a lot of people that make these listings that are not putting the UPC code into the listing like they're supposed to. So it's not showing up with a barcode scan, but if you title search it, like physically type in on that search bar, type in what the product is, find it, most of the time will show up. I'm not going to say most of the time, like 99. I'm not giving you a percentage, but there's so many products we have sold where there's very little competition because the RA sellers are scanning, not finding it, and moving on. Meanwhile, we go in, we title search it, find it, and then we can hop on that listing. So is it easier to research comps with the UPC code? Yes, it's easier to physically scan, but there's also a lot of opportunity on those items because it may not even show up on a scan.
Yep.
I just thought that was a really good.
And it's pretty easy to title search. I mean, you can do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's an extra like 3 seconds.
When I'm going to tell you our book situation. We got all these books. We got 5,000 books. I'm going to be super fast.
Title search from hell.
We had to title search every single one of them because we bought them from an ex-Amazon seller. She pulled them all and said you could basically cherry pick what you want. We were brand new. We needed capital. So we were like, yes, let's do this. And so we couldn't scan in any of the barcodes without peeling off the stickers. So it was easier to title search all of these books. So we were literally title searching.
We recruited my brother, like
textbooks,
it was
like organic chemistry, blah, blah, blah. Like we were like title searching all of these authors. It was rough.
Yeah. The fact that we couldn't use that scanner to just pop the codes in there. Yeah. It was title search.
I'm not entirely sure that we shouldn't have just peeled stickers.
It probably would have been faster at that point, but yeah, we did. Young and dumb. We did 5,000. We made money doing that. We did. We scanned through 5,000 books. We cherry picked out the best. It's like 1,300. This was when we first started. This was in the first like 6 months. We cherry picked out, I think, about 1,300 books, and I want to say we made like $2,000 profit on that deal or something like that.
All right, you guys, we gotta go.
That's our time together.
Fun times.
Thank you. So hopefully that helps out. And I had one more little thing to end you with, like actual, like tangible action step you can take.
Yeah.
If you want to go through the liquidate and just restart process, do what we did a few months ago. I'm not giving you the exact number, but we ran 30% markdown sale on eBay. You can do this on Amazon and do your markdown that way, but whatever you want to do for the next 30 days, or if you just want to spend like from now all throughout March, just run these little sales and find that sweet spot where you start to have those daily sales coming in. You're just liquidating stuff. Again, even if it's absolute worst case scenario right now, just try to break even. If you're at that point where you just mentally need that reset,
right.
Try to get your money back, break even if you can, make a few dollars if you can, and just focus the next 30 days on liquidating and sourcing better items.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when you are doing your listings, you're always keeping in mind, I need a great photo as far as a main photo. Here's my strategy for photos. Everyone's like, what's your technique for photos? I take a phenomenal main photo. The rest of them are kind of shit.
They're not that bad.
They're pretty bad. Like I'll make the first photo, the main one, the one that they see.
They're good. They're just not pristine like the first.
I'll take some extra time.
That money shot.
Yeah. So set the item up like the best like the best angle you can get, the best white. Now eBay has the built-in white background. Sorry, Android, not yet. But it's been pretty good. It's a little glitchy with some items, but it's been pretty good. Great main photo, competitive price. I've seen too many people where they're like, hey, I have this item listed. it's been up for 3 months and it's not selling. Why not? I'm like, well, you're $10 higher than anyone else. It's not $10 worth. It's not $10 more value to the customer. They just care about the price, right? So great photo. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Annie. I just saw an email come up that says she said she's our graphics person now. Annie, I'll email you back. That's hilarious. We got a graphics person now. Cool. So great photo, competitive price. Your title has to have all your main hitting keywords
your
that you need in
keywords
it.
are actually important.
Yeah, that's
so if you are not even sure where to start with keywords, go learn keywords.
it's
Just
super easy.
filter down
guys.
solds and start paying attention to how people are writing. I mean, if you say blue sweater, that's not a good keyword just by itself. There's got to be more substance to it
Navy blue.
Yeah, women's, medium, whatever.
Yep.
Brand names, that sort of thing.
So yeah, spend the next 30 days. And I hope I get an email or message from somebody who actually does this. Like just one person. I'd be happy if one person in 30 days messages us, says, hey guys, just want to let you know I watched that live. I spent all of March liquidating my bad inventory and sourcing better stuff. And here's the result. I would love to get a message like that.
Yeah.
But aside from that, you need to go eat.
I'm hungry.
You're like going to start gnawing on your hand over here.
That's gross. Okay, bye.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.